All right. So welcome to all of you who are present inside the community session, as well as those who are watching this as a recording on YouTube. Welcome to another one of our community sessions. If you're someone who would like to attend these sessions live, just comment down Empower and I will send you the WhatsApp link and you can attend all of these sessions live. So today's topic is a very interesting one and something that is talked about very less when it comes to the life coaching industry. One, because I think this is something that people just assume we know, and another is people tend to underestimate just how important it is. And I'm talking about selling as a life coach, what it really means, what are the fears or what are the obstacles, and what is the friction that we have, and how do we actually sell confidently. Now, personally speaking, from what I have seen being in the coaching industry, if you do not know how to sell, it does not matter how good of a coach you are, because you will be without any clients and you will be without any revenue. And ultimately, what is going to happen is that you will have to abandon your coaching business and you will have to either go back to your day job, or maybe, you may not experience the satisfaction, the impact, and the income you actually want from your coaching business. And the thing with selling is that a lot of coaches who enter into the coaching industry are empaths. These are people who feel deeply, they're spiritual, they are people who want to help others. And because we are, coming from that state of mind, there are a lot of barriers we have around selling, right? Some of them being that some people tend to think that, selling is not really very spiritual. Some people find that why do I have to sell at all? Some people think that I don't know if, I should sell my coaching or not. Is this really something I should monetize? Or is this something that, if I sell, people will think I'm not credible, or will, people will look down on me and other things like that. And because of all these blocks, and these are blocks, by the way, these are not genuine concerns, but these are what we call wealth blocks. As a coach, be it an aspiring coach or a current coach right now, you are going to have your own wealth blocks, which is going to lead to not being able to either make money or having your doubts around it. So we will be discussing some of the blocks today, but the ones that I've told you right now, right? Feeling that selling is some sort of a non-spiritual activity, or if I sell, people will think that, I just want their money, or if I sell, people will not actually come to me to buy, or I just want people to somehow magically buy from me even though I'm not selling, right? All of these things are wealth blocks, because ultimately selling is nothing but serving. Okay, as a coach, it is very, very imperative for you to sell, because that's the only way people are going to understand that, okay, this is someone who I can work with. And that is what selling really is. So that is what we are going to go into depth into today. And this is a very, very important topic, specifically if you're an aspiring coach. Because to be very honest, when I started, coaching, when I got completed with my training program, and even between that, one of the things that bothered me the most was that, okay, I'll get trained, I'm good at what I do, and I know I will be even a better coach with time. But how the hell do I sell? Because I personally had a lot of blocks around selling. I personally used to find selling, uh, you know, a little bit cringy, and a little bit in the lines of that, I love coaching, I just don't want to sell. Like, the only thing I did not like about the work, I love every single part of my work, but the only thing I did not like was selling. And because I did not like it, the initial months of my business, I struggled with it. I struggled with it in the sense that every time when it came to, selling, or when it came to telling people how they can work with me, I used to feel a sense of tightness in my chest, right? So it is only when I worked on it was I able to scale my business to multiple six figures. I was able to scale my business to a point where I didn't ever have a month where I did not have clients, or where I had to, reach out to people, or I was, worried about, money or things like that. Right. So it was only because I fell in love with selling, right? Because I understood selling at a very, at an in-depth level, and at a level that I could resonate with, right? So that is what we'll look at today. I'll just share my screen. Just let me know when my screen is visible to you guys. And if you're attending our session for the very first time, whatever questions you have, just keep typing them in the chat box and I will attend to all of these questions in the end. Okay. So how do you sell confidently as a coach? Now, I could have started with how do you sell as a coach, but no, that's not it. How do you sell confidently as a coach? Because you must understand that your confidence as a coach is very, very imperative. When you are not confident as a coach, what you're emitting into the universe, your vibration into the universe, is that I'm not sure of who I am. I'm not sure of the value I bring. So when you emit that vibration, you will also attract clients like that who will not be sure of you, who would not want to pay you, or who would be dicey when it comes to working with you. If you want people who are completely sold out, that they want to work with you, where they aspire to work with you, where they tell you that, you know what, I only want to work with you, even if it takes me a couple of months to, gather my resources and come work with you. If you want sold out people like that, you have to be very sold out on you as a person, as a coach, as well as your services, right? And this is something that I covered in the last session, which is how do you become confident as a coach. So you can watch that as well to understand this concept in depth. But today we are just going to focus on how do you sell confidently as a coach. So let's first understand what exactly is selling, okay? Because again, there is a lot of misconceptions around it, and there is nothing wrong with it. See, when we all enter into the coaching industry, we get trained from different places, right? And a lot of times what tends to happen is that there is a belief that just because you've done your training or just because you have a certificate, you are a coach or you will have a business, when that's not really the case, right? Learning how to coach is a skill, but how you actually make money from that skill comes from your business skills, which is learning how to market, learning how to sell confidently, learning how to sell through the content you write or through the way you speak, right? So that is a very different thing. And that is one of the reasons why when I am creating the life coach training program right now, I'm including monetization in it, because that is something I wanted. Honestly, when I started my journey, I wanted someone to teach me how the hell do I monetize my coaching services. I became a coach, yeah, sure, but I did not know how do I start. I had so many fears around selling, so many fears around, oh my God, what will people think of me? What if someone says no, and all of that. So when I am creating this program right now, or when I had the vision of creating this program, the few questions I asked myself was, what did I need when I was starting out, right? And monetization is something that I wanted. And that is why I'm including it into the training program. That not only do you learn how to coach, but you learn how to monetize the skill, right? So essentially, selling is nothing but telling people in 100 ways how you can help them. That's it. That's really it. You wake up in the morning, right? And you tell people, this is how I can help you. You either tell them on your social media, you tell them, let's say you were traveling somewhere, you meet someone in the party, and someone asks you, okay, what do you do? So what you're telling them is, you know what? I help people with self-love. I help people lose weight. I help people who are new mothers. I help people who are new mothers gain confidence back for their body. And this is how I help people. So what is that? That is you telling people that this is what I help you with. And that is selling. That's it. It is not some magical 10-step process or some hack or some magical funnel. None of that. Selling should be second nature to you, right? And selling, how is selling second nature? You just telling people what you do. That's it. If you ever read my content, okay, if you ever go to my social media, and I'm guessing because you all are here, you know me in some capacity, either you have spoken to me or you've been in my energy, you must have seen that I talk about what I do every single day, right? I talk about it. And that's how people get to know. And you know what? Even though I tell every single day, this is how you can book a call with me, this is how you can reach out to me, I still get people telling me that, Riyanji, how do I book a session with you? So what I'm trying to tell you is that it's so important to sell every single day, because when you do something every single day, you think that you're doing it too much. But believe me, it's not. It's really not. I'm telling you personally, I write every single day how people can reach out to me. I still get DMs. How can I book a session with you? Or how can I, get this, or how can I get that? Other things. Even though I sell every single day, even though I tell people every single day. So you must understand that selling should be second nature to you. And selling is what? Telling people in 100 ways, this is how I can help you. And this doesn't mean just in social media. Selling can happen everywhere, anywhere, to be honest. Let's say, you are going to your dad's, workplace, and let's say you are there to pick him up. And, your dad introduces you to his friends, and his friend asks you, okay, what do? You simply tell them that, you know what, I'm a life coach, and currently I'm helping people, gain clarity in their life, or I'm helping people make great decisions in their life. And then He is, let's say, someone who thinks that, okay, you know what, I'm also struggling with making decisions right now in my life. Is there some way you can help me? And you tell them, yeah, sure. Here is my number. Text me and let's get on a call. What is that? That is selling, right? So selling is not something that is a complicated 10-step process. It is just telling people, this is how I help you. The more you tell people, the more people know that this is someone who can solve my problem, right? And selling is how you help people. So let's say, you know, that a friend of your dad's who's telling you that, let's say your friend, that friend of your dad's is actually suffering from not being able to make important decisions in his life, right? And you are someone who has this shyness, oh my God, I should not, tell people what I do. Or, I should not tell people to book a call with me or something like that. They should, if they get to know me, if they, one day feel right, they will do it on their own. When you have that, what you're doing is you're depriving that person from the help that they can get. As compared to, let's say, if someone tells you, what do? You simply tell them, you know what, currently I'm a coach. I help people make better decisions in their life. And let's say this person tells you that, you know what, there is something that I'm also, struggling with, or there are decisions that I think I'm not able to make. You tell them, oh, if this is something you need help with, book a call with me. Or you know what, let's have a conversation. Let's chat about it. So what is that? That is you helping people. And how are you helping people? You tell them this is how they can work with you. And let's say after you've had that initial conversation with you, it doesn't matter where it's going. Maybe the person, feels like, okay, right now I don't want to get coached. Or maybe their problem gets solved in one conversation. Or they want to work with you because they feel that you are the person they were looking for. So what do? You simply let them know that, you know what, right now you can work with me for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And this is how much it takes to work with me. That's it. What is that? That's selling. There is no complicated process around it, right? And please understand that people want to be sold to. They want solutions to their problems. You must understand selling is nothing but you telling people that I can solve your problem. That is what selling is. There is nothing more to that. If you are telling people that, you know what, I am a life coach and I can help you, let's say, develop self-love or be clear in your life, or have better relationship with your husband or your wife. I can help you be resilient. I can help you be, let's say, develop confidence as a mother, whatever it is, right? Whatever your niche is. What are you doing? You are solving someone's problem. Let's say that, you are someone who is someone who is helping new mothers gain back their confidence. Okay, let's say your niche is that. And let's say I'm a mother, okay? And I'm struggling with my confidence, but I don't really know what to do about it. First. Second, I don't even know if this is a real problem. Third, I don't know who the hell can actually help me. But let's say I meet you in a party, or let's say I read your post online somewhere, and you tell me that this is exactly how you can help me, and you tell me your story, you tell me how exactly you help mothers gain back their confidence. What is going to happen? I'm going to look at you and I'm going to feel that, oh my God, this is a problem I have and I want to solve it. So what is happening here? You are helping me solve a problem, right? So I want to be sold to. Now, what is the package I might end up buying, or what is it that's a very different thing, right? That's not even a question. People anyway don't buy from money. People buy from their commitment. A person who is highly committed to their growth will always buy from you. So money is not something ever you should look for. So people want to be sold to. They want solutions to their problems. That is what selling is. There is nothing, no hullabaloo, about it. There is nothing complicated about it, right? And as I told you, just the example right now, sometimes people do not know a solution to their problem exists until you tell them, right? There are so many times where I have had clients who have told me that, Riyanshi, the problems you are helping us solve, I didn't even know that they could be solved. But because you were talking about it, I realized that these are problems I can solve. There's so many times my clients have experienced growth in their finances, growth in their relationships, because they finally realized that, okay, these problems can be solved. So why were they able to realize it? Because I was selling every single day. Why was I able to sell every single day? Because I worked on myself. I did that inner work. And because my level of inner work was very high, the clients I was attracting were also that they were willing to invest in themselves, right? So people may not even know a solution to their problem exists until you tell them, and that is why selling is so important. The next thing to know about is we are always selling something. What does that mean? Let's say you are telling someone your thoughts. Okay, let's say you are in an interview and you're telling your interview that why you are a great fit to work with them. What are you doing? You're selling. You're selling your thoughts. Let's say you are talking to your partner and you're trying to tell your partner that, you know what, we should go to a couple's therapist. What are you doing? You're selling your thoughts to your partner. Let's say you are telling your parent or you're telling your partner that, you know what, I'm investing into coaching and this is something that is, really, really good for me. I know that. What is happening in that moment? You're selling your thoughts. Now, in that moment, how well you're able to sell your thoughts is going to determine the trajectory of your life. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say you want to invest into coaching, okay? But you yourself are not committed, okay? And you talk to your partner, you talk to your parent that, you know what, I want to do this. What is happening? You yourself are not committed. The other person is going to ask you questions, that's it. But you yourself are not committed. So what is going to happen here is that you may end up blaming your partner or parent. Oh my God, they're not supportive of me. Oh my God, if things don't work out, they will not be there for me. They will blame me. But in reality, the truth is you are not committed. And this is what happens to a lot of coaches. They go into coaching sessions or they start their businesses not learning to be confident. They go to their clients with that dicey mindset. They themselves are not sure of who they are, and then they blame their clients or they blame people. Oh my God, people are not buying from me. Why are people not buying from me? I have so much value to give. And then they say that, there are no clients who want to pay me and stuff like that. Please understand that even when you're communicating your thoughts, you're trying to sell. And how good of a seller you are will come from a place of how committed you are as a person. So if clients are not buying from you, it's because of two things. One is you don't know how to sell, and how to sell is just telling people confidently. Second is you yourself are not sure of who you are. And that is why, and I say this in every single session, do your one-on-one inner work. It's non-negotiable for you. Non-negotiable if you're in the coaching industry. Because every single time you're speaking, you have the power to be selling your thoughts. The reason why some coaches always have consistent clients, why they're able to launch programs successfully, why they're able to make money on demand, is because for them selling is second nature. It's because they're sure of the value they're bringing. So if you want to be in that category, if you want to, be able to create whatever the hell you want in your business, do your one-on-one work and become confident in who you are. When that is taken care of, you will be able to sell your thoughts to anyone as well. That's how powerful selling as a skill is. It just doesn't come handy when it comes to your business. It's also in the way you are in your relationships, the way you exist in your friendships, the way you exist everywhere. Because when you become confident in who you are, you're able to sell your thoughts well, which means that you are able to not, I won't use the word convince, but you're able to make a very strong impression, which means that people will listen to you. People want to listen to you. People are interested in trusting you. They want to trust you. You don't have to convince them to trust you. That is a non-negotiable factor, and that is a personality thing. Okay. So selling becomes a personality type when you work on your confidence, because then it's effortless for you. Selling is not a complicated process. Selling only becomes complicated for a coach who has not done their one-on-one inner work, who is someone who's not confident in themselves. When you work on your confidence, selling becomes second nature to you. You're very confident that, you know what, this is what I do. I'm very good at what I do. If you want to get this solved, come to me. That's it. That's what selling becomes then. So my personal advice to you as a coach is work on your inner self-confidence and become confident. Don't make selling a skill set that is different. Make selling your second nature. Become so confident in who you are that selling becomes very, very, natural to you, where you are just able to, tell people, where you're able to sell your thoughts, you're able to sell your feelings, you're able to tell people that, you know what I'm saying is the right thing. So that will come from a deep sense of belief. And this skill, personally speaking, has come in handy for me everywhere in life. Like when I started working on my confidence, I saw a very radical shift in everything in my life. starting from my relationships, be it with my parents, be it with my partner, be it with my sibling, be it with my friends. What I saw was that when I was talking, people wanted to listen. When I was talking, people believed. When I was talking, people trusted. So what happened was that I only had to say what I wanted, and I got that, be it support, be it anything. So when selling becomes second nature to you, you are able to tell and or make your case very confidently anywhere in life. So this is a very, very imperative and a non-negotiable skill anywhere you go, right? Even if you have a job right now, doesn't matter. Okay, so coming back to the point, why selling is non-negotiable. First is, without selling, you have no revenue, no clients, no impact. So let's try to understand, why do we want to coach, right? Why do we want to get into the coaching industry, right? We want to create an impact. We actually want to serve people. We want to have clients and we want to have revenue. Obviously, we want to make money from the business that we have. So when you don't sell, you don't have either of them, right? Because you are not willing to tell people again and again that this is how I can help you. And when you're not willing to tell people again and again, this is how I can help you, how the hell will people want to pay you? See, you have to understand that there are people who need your expertise. There are so many people in this world who want your help. And that is why I say this again and again. There is zero competition in the coaching industry. And I'll tell you why. There are thousands of coaches who get the certification, but very few who actually learn how to do a business, and even fewer who invest in their growth one-on-one coaching. Most of them get scared and they shut down their business. So believe me when I tell you that if you are committed, okay, committed to your own personal growth, and when I say personal growth, I'm talking about both the things: learning your business skills and investing in your growth so that you can heal from your trauma, you can heal from your personal obstacles. When you are committed to that, there is no stopping you. Because imagine, what you have is something that is needed by like most people in this world, and they want to pay you. There are so many people who would love to pay you. But when will they pay you? When you put yourself out there, when you're willing to tell people that, you know what, this is what I do and this is what I charge. And when will that happen? When you work on your confidence, when you learn how to sell, and selling not from a place of effort, selling as a second nature, right? And without selling, you also don't create impact. Now you have to understand this in two ways, okay? One is, when you're not selling, you are taking the person's opportunity away to work with you, right? Let's say you want to work with me, but I'm too afraid to sell. I will not tell you how you can work with me. I will not make an offer. I will not work with a coach. I will not improve myself because I'm too afraid to invest in myself. And because I'm too afraid to invest in myself, I will not make you an offer. And if I don't make you an offer, what am I doing? I'm not creating impact in your life, and I'm not creating money in my life as well. So that is what happens to coaches who don't invest in themselves as well. They don't learn how to sell. They don't learn how to, be someone who's confident. And as a result, they don't impact in other people's lives as well as their own. So without selling, you don't create impact. And ultimately, most of us who enter into the coaching industry, we go into it because we want to create impact. And when you sell, you tell the other person that, look, you can work with me for longer. And money just becomes an energy exchange, right? And another thing when it comes to money, and this is not very related to selling, but just want to put it out there, is I have seen mostly coaches who struggle to make money are usually the coaches who don't pay money. Like, this is a very big thing I've seen, because what tends to happen is that whatever you charge to a client, right, it comes from a nervous system expansion, which is how confident are you charging that? And that confidence build up when your nervous system capacity is big enough to actually pay to your own coach. So coaches who don't invest in themselves usually are the ones who struggle to charge high ticket. Okay. So if you are someone who hasn't done that, do that. Your nervous system capacity will increase. Your confidence to charge high will increase. And as a result, you will also attract highly committed and highly paid clients. Okay. And selling is a difference between a paid and an unpaid coach. So this is a very obvious thing. When you don't sell, you will either end up doing free sessions, or you will have inconsistent clients, or you will have low paid clients. When you sell, when you learn how to sell, when you make selling your second nature, you will never run out of money, especially in a coaching business. Why? Because you will find different ways to serve people, right? Maybe you don't want to do one-on-one coaching. You want to do a group program. Maybe you don't want to do a group program. Maybe you want to do, let's say, a membership. Maybe you want to create a digital product, whatever. When you learn how to sell, or when selling becomes second nature to you, you find different ways to create impact in other people's life, right? And because you're creating impact, because you're creating value, you never go, an unpaid coach. You never become a coach who's struggling with money, right? So all of this starts by first investing in your own brain, by first expanding your own brain, right? Okay, now let's look at the few reasons why are we actually afraid to sell. The very first thing is fear of rejection. So see, as human beings, we, tend to come from a place that I don't want to hear a no, or that if someone is telling no to me, it means that, oh my God, I'm not valuable. You have to understand that when a person is saying no to you for working with you, there are 1,000 reasons they may be saying that. One is they don't want to create resources in their life. Second is they have the resources, they're too afraid to invest in themselves. Third could be they thought they wanted to grow, but they don't want to grow. When it became too real for them, they got scared. So when a person is saying no to your coaching services, they're saying no to coaching, no to their own growth. They're not saying no to you. Nobody's rejecting you, right? And fear of rejection also comes from different places. Okay, it also comes from trauma in the past. It can come from when you have been subjected to highly critical parenting, highly critical upbringing, or when you have been very sheltered and you've never really experimented much in your life, so you don't really know how to actually sell, how to collect no's. Another could be, let's say you've been bullied in the past, or you have a very low sense of self-esteem. So fear of rejection can come from many places. And this will get resolved because, as I said, you must do your one-on-one inner work. When you do your inner work, all these fears can get addressed. Second is fear of overwhelm. So this is when people complicate selling. When people think, oh my God, there is some magic 5-step formula. I will, follow up with people one day, after 5 days. And if I do that, somehow it will create the desire in the person's mind to buy from me and stuff like that. And I always say to any coach that I've ever mentored and the ones I'm mentoring right now, I always tell them, when a person wants to buy from you, they will buy from you. You don't have to apply any tactic for that. They may either buy from you today, they may either buy from you after 1 month, but they will buy from you. And that surety will come from two places. One is when you coach them very powerfully. Second is when you believe in yourself. And this is where your belief system and your confidence comes into the play. You don't have to apply any tactics here. When someone wants to work with you, they will work with you. You don't have to do anything for that. You just have to serve them, and that's it. Third is fear of appearing needy and desperate. So this is also coming from a place where we think selling is cringy, or we think that selling means that I'm pushing, or we think that, selling means I have to be behind someone that, oh my God, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Don't have to do any of that. As I said, right? When it comes to selling, you are telling people how you can help them. That's it. If someone says no to you, and again, there are different ways of approaching, there are different ways of converting a no to a yes as well. I will not discuss this here. I'll discuss it sometime later, and I'll be talking about this in depth in my training program as well. But when it comes to, this feeling that, oh my God, I might appear needy, I might appear desperate, it's never really about the client, actually. It's always about the coach. When a coach is afraid of appearing needy or of appearing desperate, it's usually when they are very afraid of being vulnerable. When they want to, put this armor in front of them that, what, no, I'm somehow bigger than you, or that, what, I don't need you, you need me. That sort of a mentality. And that is a defense mechanism, right? And this is a sign of an unevolved coach, a coach who is not very high on their personal growth. So when you do your one-on-one work with your coach, if this is something that is a fear for you, please bring it up. Please work with your coach to resolve the trauma behind this, because this is not a good look for a coach. Okay. When you have that fear of appearing needy and desperate, what is going to happen is that you will build walls in front of you. You will not actually connect with your clients or potential clients deeply. And coaching is the profession of connection. If someone doesn't feel connected with you, they will not buy from you. There is no tactic, there is no hack to this. There is no funnel, there is no some magic strategy. And that is why coaching as an industry is so beautiful. Because here, your gender, your age, your certificate, none of that matters. What matters is, can you solve a problem? Second, what is your level of personal growth? Both of this is going to lead to you attracting clients, right? So if this is a fear you have, or among any of this, work on it, because this is going to result into you facing friction when it comes to creating clients. And again, another fear, what will people think of me? So this is also something that often comes from childhood trauma. In fact, all of the ones that I'm mentioning usually comes from childhood trauma, wherein, we usually, when it comes to selling and why people mostly have this fear, is in the past, you have put yourself out there and you have not, been met with enthusiasm or love, where maybe people have rejected you, you have a history of bullying, you have had critical upbringing, you have seen your parents hold back love from you. And again, could be different reasons based on your traumagram. But what I'm trying to tell you is that whatever fear you have around selling, be specific about it and be honest about it. For example, I will tell you, I was bullied when I was young, okay? And that obviously created a lot of problem for me. And because that created a lot of problem for me, I was very afraid of rejection because I experienced rejection as a trauma early on in my childhood, right? When I was bullied, I felt the pain of someone rejecting you, specifically in a group. I felt the pain of, people may look down on me or people may disrespect me, right? So when I became a coach, my biggest fear came alive, that, oh my God, this is something I'm going to have to work on. So one of the things that tends to happen when you actually want to expand as a coach is that all the pain you want to suppress, all the trauma that you don't want to work on will come up. And you actually working on it is going to lead you to your abundance. That is going to be a destiny unlock for you. Personally speaking, that was for me as well. And it is for every single coach, honestly. When you work on all the hidden and suppressed trauma that you have, is when your life is truly going to turn. That is when you're going to unlock a new level of abundance. Because what is going to happen is that you would have dealt with your biggest fears, your biggest demons. So there will be no friction anymore. Most coaches don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they don't want to work on themselves. That's the reason why most coaches fail. So if you truly want to succeed as a coach, invest in one-on-one coaching and work on all of these fears, because these fears are what is standing between you. See, I'll tell you what, for me, effort was not a problem. Okay. For me, effort has never been a problem. I am very big on, taking action. If I make a decision, I take action fast. I don't delay it. I don't sit around it, and I don't wait for, that, oh my God, one day someone will give me permission. I take action on it. So action was not a problem for me. Investing in myself was not a problem for me. In fact, when in the beginning, when I did not have the money to invest in my coaching programs, I borrowed it. I borrowed it from my parents. I borrowed it from my friends, and I invested in myself, and I paid them back. I was coming from a place that I'm going all in. And that was also one of the reasons why I quantum leaped into my business so fast, which is not usually the case for a lot of independent coaches specifically, right? But my problem was that I had a big block around rejection. I was terrified. I'll be very honest. I was, because when people would say no to me, and what I used to think is they're rejecting me as a person. So that fear from my childhood would come, right? My inner child would be hurt that, oh my God, people are saying no to me. So I would get very, very sad, very depressed. I will not get up from my bed, or I would go to my coping mechanism was, okay, I will work even more. I was not solving the right problem. And for that created a lot of friction in the first few months of my business. I had to sit with myself very honestly and I had this conversation with myself where I told myself honestly, look, the problem is not the effort. The problem is that you don't want to invest. The problem is that you don't want to work on this fear. So I worked on it. And when I worked on it, that block sort of went away and I started getting highly paid clients because I was not afraid anymore. So you must understand that as a coach, your problem is not technical, okay? Your business comes from your nervous system and your brain. So when this is aligned, and that will only happen through one-on-one work, your abundance gates will open up. So be honest about your fears. Be honest, what am I afraid of? And create resources in your life to work. Because you know what, I'll tell you one more thing. So there is a saying in the coaching industry that your clients will always mirror a past version of you. And when I was working with my coach, I was that person that if I wanted to work with my coach, I would create money from anywhere. Okay, I would pay them an installment or I would borrow it, but I would do it. And I'm not kidding you, I have had many clients in my life who did not have the money to work with me at that point of time, but they created money in their life to work with me because I was that committed. My clients were also that committed. So one of the secrets of actually creating committed clients is first you become committed as a client. When you are a committed client to your coach, you will get clients like that. Because what tends to happen, I'll tell you, with the coaching clients, a coaching industry, and I'm talking about highly paid clients, okay, where you can charge them more than $1,000 or $1,500, is that a client does not buy from you because of your personality or what you're writing or stuff like that. A client will buy from you when they are vibrating at the same level as you, right? And this comes from a place of authenticity. For me, I was very authentic about my story to my clients as well. I always told them that discount is something I don't do, or lowering my price is something I don't do. But what I have done in my past is I've created money to work with my coaches. So if this is something that works for you, great, do that. I was very authentic. So my clients that I got were also very authentic, right? So they connected with me. So one more reason why you may not be getting clients right now is first, you're not being authentic to yourself, right? Second is obviously you have not done your inner work, right? So both of these play a very important role. And people buy from you at the level you're vibrating, not an illusion you're putting yourself, like you're putting out there. Because coaching is a nervous system based profession. Now, how can you actually sell confidently? Very first is thing that I want you to do is I want you to identify all of your beliefs about selling that make you cringe, that stops you on your tracks, that brings up fear for you, and understand why do they make you cringe. So I did this. Okay, I personally sat down with my notebook and I decided that I will write down every single thing that makes me cringe. My biggest fear, as I told you, was rejection. I was very afraid. And you know what? I was not afraid of hearing a no. I was afraid that that no will make me feel very sad. I didn't want to feel that sad. I wanted to be okay with the no. So I wrote that down, that this is something I want to work on. Second thing that I was, afraid of when it came to selling was that I used to think that, I have to be those pushy sellers, that I will have to do those 99 rupees webinar, or I have to send emails every single day, or I have to be, follow up with people 10 times a day. I didn't want to be like that, right? So I wrote that down, that I didn't want to be a seller like that. The next thing that I was afraid of, or more than afraid, I was confused about, was a selling process, right? So I used to think, because people talk about selling process in a very complicated way, right? They make it very complicated. They make it seem like, oh my God, selling is a very, Herculean task. You have to do something very complicated. There is a 10-step process, 20-step process. I didn't want to do that. I am a very simple person and I like to do things very simply. Even to this date, if you go to my profile, you will find that I write things in Google Docs. I don't have a website. I went to get a website. I found it complicated. I said, fuck it. I don't want it. When I am writing my content, I write it in my, I have my phone, I write it in my notes and I publish it. So for me, simplicity is a very big value. I don't like things complicated. I want them to be done in 3 steps. So that was something that I wanted. So I identified my beliefs, I identified what I wanted, and I went to my coach and I told them, this is what I want. I wanted to help me with that. So because I was clear and because I was willing to invest in myself, my time, energy, and money, my beliefs around selling changed very quickly because I was committed and I was willing. So your commitment is going to be a very pivotal role in how successful you become as a coach, right? And of course, work with your coach one-on-one and become confident. This is non-negotiable for every single coach. So, I mean, there is nothing to explain. This is something you must do. Sell with the process you like. So this is also very important. There is nothing called an industry standard. Okay, there's nothing called a magic process. The coaches who are able to sell are usually coaches who are in love with the process, right? I am able to sell every single day because I love my process. I just tell people in 3 lines, this is what you can do to work with me, book a session with me or DM me. That's it. That's my process of selling. I just tell people. I don't want to give them, oh my God, do this, oh my God, subscribe to this, or, I don't know, some other strategy, or being behind them, texting them every single day. I don't do that. I tell my people one time, this is how you can work with me. If they want to work with me, they do. And I'm always in the belief that my clients are always thinking about me. And that comes from a place of that sense of belief I have in my skills and in myself, right? So sell with the process you like. If you like email marketing, do that. If you like selling on social media, do that. If you like selling on WhatsApp, do that. If you like selling on DMs, on one-on-one calls, do that. It doesn't matter. But sell with the process you like. Because selling is something you're going to have to do every day. And you can't do something you don't like every single day. So fall in love with the process of selling by removing the blocks around it. And second, sell with the process you actually like. Another thing about selling is sell at a price that excites you. So another myth a lot of coaches have is that if I sell for a lower price, people will buy from me. That's a very big myth. So you have to understand that people buy at every price point. Every price point. You have to be willing to vibrate at that price point. So when you sell at a price you actually love, you would love to sell. If you're selling at a price you don't actually love, and you yourself know that, oh my God, I'm going to need 20 people to sell to reach to the desired income level I want, you are not going to sell because the process itself is going to be so exhausting. So sell at your desired price. And this is like, what is a desired price and how do you charge high is something I will cover in depth in my training program as well. But understand that when you sell at a price you love, you will love the process of selling. If you sell at a price you don't love, you will not sell. Because even if you sell, it will not make a difference to your life. So sell at a price that excites you. And sell to those who want to be sold to. So again, another thing that I have found is that sometimes coaches become very hesitant of selling because they feel that they have to convince people. And I always tell them, you don't have to. Like even the coaches that I'm mentoring right now one-on-one, I always tell them you don't have to. See, when you are writing, when you're creating value, people will consume that value. So these are people who are already sold off on you as a person. So you don't have to convince. You just have to tell them this is how you can help them. And you tell them in 100 different ways every single day. This is how I help you. This is how I help you. You don't have to convince to anyone. That's something you really don't have to do. And have an uncomplicated process at place. So this is again related to the third point I said. Have a process that you like, whatever process you want. Your process could be anything. You don't have to take validation from anyone for that. For example, long time back, someone told me that, you know what, Rianshi, you should DM people. That's a very good strategy and all of that. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to people's DM and tell them, work with me, work with me. I want people to reach out to me. That's a standard I wanted to set. And I was willing to do anything to set that standard. So I did that. I was very clear that I will let people come to me and I will work on myself at that level that people come to me. So I use something called attraction marketing for that. I don't go to people. That is something that I personally wanted. Of course, if DMs work with you, that's great for you. But the point is, I wanted that for me. So when you design your coaching business according to what you love, you will never be tired of it or exhausted of it. It will always excite you. Okay. So the last is I'll share a few of my learnings in just a few minutes. The very first thing I've learned in my business is I've only done things I like. Because I have found that every time I force myself to do something I don't like, every time I force myself to do things because someone else is telling me that that is what they're supposed to do, I quit on my business and I don't like that. Now I want to add a condition here. Not doing things I don't like doesn't mean that I don't experiment or that I hold myself back. For example, you are someone who don't want to invest in herself or himself because you don't want to, because you are afraid of, oh my God, I'm going to have to borrow money. That's not a liking problem. That's a scarcity mindset. But let's say I'm telling you that DM 100 people. That's a process you don't like. So that is different. So when it comes to processes, that's a different thing. If you don't like a process, don't do it. But if you don't like the fundamental things like being committed, investing in yourself, that's a scarcity mindset problem, right? So the processes I did not like, I did not do. I designed my own processes. I've always sold from a place of authority. I don't sell from a place of I need you, I want you, or please work with me, something like that. I always sell from a place of authority. And I do attraction marketing, wherein I come from a place that when people are reaching out to me, they're sold out on me. I don't have to convince them. When people reach out to me, I tell them this is how you work with me. That's it. I'm not convincing them. I'm not telling them to buy from me. And that is because I believe in my work at that level. It's because I've done that one-on-one work on myself, right? So that's something that I have learned in my journey. And one thing I think I forgot to mention here is one thing that I have found that has worked very well with me in my coaching business is always being committed to the process and not the result. So again, one thing that happens to coaches is that when they get too attached to the results or too married to the results, their vision becomes very short term. That, oh my God, I've done it for 1 week, nothing is happening. I've done it for 1 month, nothing is happening. You have to have a vision of a business person. And a business person does not think in a monthly income or what am I doing in a month? They think in terms of quarters. They think in terms of 6 months. So when you want to enter into the coaching business, think like a business person. If I invest in myself today, what will my life like in the next 6 months? If I'm investing this much money, what will my life like be in the 6 months? That is how I took my decisions as well. Whenever I was investing money, that voice did came up. Okay, oh my God, I'm investing so much. Will I be able to make it back? Then I thought from a place of a business person. If I invest myself right now, invest in myself right now, and I'm committed to the process, what can my life be like in 6 months? I wanted my investment to quadruple, to become 10 times, and it did. Because I thought from a place of a business person and not an employee or not a person who thinks from a monthly mindset, because that is not what a business person does. Right? So that is also something that has been very helpful for me. Okay, so that's it from my side today. You guys can ask any questions you want. You can either unmute yourself or just type in the chat box. We have like 5-10 minutes more. Okay, so far I don't think we have any questions. So I guess we'll end the session for today and take your time to absorb everything that we have learned. Take your time to reflect on the things that you need to work on and the things that are new for you. So take your time to assimilate that information. And in case you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out in the group or you can DM me. Anything is okay. And the life coach training and certification program is coming up this month. So if you're someone who wants to enroll in, you're very welcome. Okay, I think we have a question. What are the most effective strategies for reaching out to potential guys through social media, considering a target audience of students and young professionals? So there is nothing called an effective strategy. Okay, your effective strategy will come from a place of what is the easiest thing for you to do. That's your effective strategy. There is nothing called the perfect strategy that you can use to reach out to people. Specifically, when let's say you want to sell every single day. So there's nothing called a perfect effective strategy. One thing you can consider is you can try to look at where are your ideal clients hanging out. So you can reach out there and you can come up with different processes. Like there are different ways you can come up with lead magnets. You can come up with gamification of your processes. You can come up with tests and quizzes and stuff like that. So there is nothing called an effective strategy. Go with the strategy that feels the easiest to you and experiment. see what is working for you. I'm looking for advice on how to optimize a social media content to better engage our audience and attract more potential clients. Ask yourself, are the content you're putting out, is it solving a problem? And if your, let's say, if your clientele is young students, are they making the buying decisions or are the parents making the buying decisions? And if their parents are making the buying decisions, are you solving their problems? There is no content strategy. Please understand. Content strategy can only be developed when you are working with a coach and you have, not only understood your business, but also your personality and your client in a very, in-depth way. Content strategy is your content something that's solving a problem or not? If it is not, then that is something you need to be focusing on. There is nothing called a one size fits all sort of a thing. And even when it comes to content strategy, you have to discuss in depth about what your business is about, what its goals are, what is the easiest thing for you to do, what is the easiest thing for your client to do when they're reaching out to you. So there are multiple things you consider in that aspect. And honestly speaking, content is just one touch point. It's not the sole reason why people buy from you. It's different reasons. It's your energy. It's the way you are coming from. It's the way you've designed your business. Okay. So I suppose we are done with the questions for today. Is there any other questions you guys have? Okay, I'm guessing not. So I will see you guys probably next week with another community session. Most probably I'll be going live on LinkedIn this week as well about certain business topics around life coaching. So you can take a check on my LinkedIn profile, and I will anyway be sharing in the community group. And for those of you who are watching this as a recording, share your insights in the community if you are, and if you're not in the community, just mention the word empowered and I will send you the link and you can join our sessions live and ask your questions in the community as well. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Bye-bye.